In the unyielding expanse of Mars, amidst a terrain as harsh as it is red, lies a region largely untouched by human endeavor. The planet, though colonized and boasting thriving outposts, still harbors vast, mysterious landscapes that challenge the bravest of explorers. It is here, in this remote and daunting world, that our story begins with an astronaut named Alex. Alex's journey to this distant world was not a matter of chance, but a chosen path. His past was marked by a series of accomplishments and unwavering curiosity about the unknown. From his early days as an aspiring astronaut, Alex was driven by a profound desire to explore, to extend the boundaries of human knowledge. This mission to Mars was the culmination of a lifelong dream. Yet, as he stood on the surface of this alien world, far from the bustling hubs of human colonies, a sense of isolation enveloped him. He was a solitary figure against the vastness of an uncharted planet. Alex's background was not just academic, but also intensely practical. Trained in geology and astrophysics, he had always shown an exceptional aptitude for understanding the natural world. His career was dotted with expeditions that many considered too risky or challenging. Yet Alex thrived in these environments, his resilience and resourcefulness setting him apart. These traits were not just admirable, but essential for surviving the harsh conditions of Mars. The planet was unforgiving, a place where only the most prepared and adaptable could hope to succeed. Despite his extensive training and experience, the reality of the mission weighed heavily on him. Mars was not just another frontier, it was a world entirely alien to human life. The red dust that covered its surface was a constant reminder of its stark difference from Earth. The planet's unpredictable weather, the ever-present danger of equipment failure, and the immense physical and psychological challenges of deep space travel were realities Alex had prepared for, but now faced in earnest. Yet for all its challenges, Mars held a fascination for Alex. He saw beauty in its desolation, in the endless horizon that stretched before him, unmarred by human presence. It was a scientist's paradise, a vast, untapped source of knowledge waiting to be discovered. His mission here was not just a personal achievement, but a step towards a greater understanding of our place in the cosmos. The loneliness, however, was palpable. The nearest human outpost was hundreds of kilometers away, and although he could communicate with his team and other colonists, the delay in transmission only emphasized his isolation. Every message sent or received was a reminder of the immense distance that separated him from the rest of humanity. It was a solitude that few could endure, a testament to the strength of human spirit and its unyielding quest for discovery. As Alex began his explorations, he knew that each step took him further into the unknown. He was a pioneer in a world that had existed long before humans dared to dream of the stars. In this vast alien landscape, Alex was not just an astronaut. He was a harbinger of humanity's boundless potential, a lone figure standing against the red horizon of Mars, ready to unravel its mysteries. The landing module, a lone beacon of human ingenuity, descended through the swirling ochre skies of Mars. Alex, strapped inside, felt the craft shudder as it battled against a severe Martian dust storm. This was the planet's unwelcoming greeting, a reminder of its indifferent might. The storm raged around him, a maelstrom of dust and wind, obscuring the red world beneath. It was a perilous descent, one that tested the limits of both the module and the astronaut within. As the module fought its way through the tempest, Alex's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts. He recalled the simulations, the endless training, but nothing could truly replicate the ferocity of this moment. The craft's alarms blared, a cacophony against the howling storm, as he monitored the descent metrics closely. Every jolt, every unexpected drop in altitude, was a testament to the danger and unpredictability of the red planet. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the storm abated, and the module emerged beneath the tempest. Below lay the Martian landscape in its raw, unadulterated form. Alex's first glimpse of Mars was through the settling dust, a panorama of desolation stretching to the horizon. It was a world of contrasts. The red terrain was starkly beautiful, yet undeniably barren, a far cry from the blue and green of Earth. The landscape was marked by craters, canyons, and vast plains of regolith, untouched by life as we know it. As the landing module touched down, a cloud of red dust billowed around it, then settled slowly as if the planet itself was taking a measured breath. Alex peered through the module's viewport, his eyes tracing the horizon. This remote area of Mars was markedly different from the images he had seen of the more hospitable colonies. Those were places where humanity had imposed its will, creating pockets of life in a world that offered none. Here, however, it was just Mars in its most primal state. A silent, ancient world that had existed long before humans looked to the stars. The tranquility of the landscape belied its harshness. There was a beauty in its desolation, a call to the explorer's spirit. Yet Alex knew that this beauty was a facade for the countless dangers hidden in its plains and crevices. As he prepared to step out of the landing module, he felt a profound sense of awe mixed with an unyielding resolve. This was the moment he had trained for, the beginning of a mission that would push the boundaries of human exploration and knowledge. With a deep breath, Alex initiated the airlock sequence. The door opened, and he stepped onto the Martian surface, the first human to set foot in this uncharted region. The red dust stirred under his feet, marking the beginning of his journey on this alien world. After the momentous first steps on the uncharted Martian terrain, Alex turned his attention to the immediate task at hand, setting up camp. The process, though meticulously planned, was fraught with challenges. The red planet was not just a silent observer, but an active participant, testing Alex's resolve at every turn. The first task was to assemble the habitat module, a temporary home and research base. As he began the assembly, Alex encountered his first major hurdle. A critical piece of equipment, vital for the habitat's structural integrity, malfunctioned. This was not a scenario he had anticipated. The Martian environment, it seemed, had its way of derailing even the most carefully laid plans. The harsh weather conditions didn't help either. Sudden gusts of wind, carrying with them clouds of fine dust, often interrupted his work, covering equipment and reducing visibility. Alex worked tirelessly, troubleshooting the issue with the habitat module. Hours turned into a day, and the problem that should have taken minutes to resolve stretched on, testing his technical skills and patience. The isolation of Mars began to weigh heavily on him. There was no team to confer with in real time, no companion to share the burden. The silence of the planet was omnipresent, a reminder that he was alone in an alien world, millions of kilometers from home. The weight of solitude was more challenging than Alex had anticipated. Back on Earth, in the midst of training and preparations, he had thought himself ready to face the loneliness. But the reality was starkly different. The silence of Mars was not just an absence of sound. It was a void that seemed to engulf all his thoughts and emotions. The red dust that surrounded him felt like a barrier, cutting him off from the rest of the universe. Despite these challenges, Alex persevered. He adapted his plans, using his resourcefulness to overcome the malfunction. The habitat module finally stood assembled, a solitary structure amidst a sea of red. As he secured the last panel, a sense of accomplishment washed over him. It was a small victory, but in the context of his isolation, it felt significant. The first night in the habitat module was a moment for reflection. As he lay in his bunk, surrounded by the hum of life support systems, Alex's thoughts wandered to the vastness of space, the billions of stars and planets, and the tiny speck that was Earth. He thought about the people he had left behind, the voices he would only hear through delayed communications. The reality of his mission, the enormity of his solitude, was clearer than ever. Yet in the face of these challenges, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. This mission was more than just a personal endeavor. It was a step towards a greater human understanding of Mars. The solitude, the challenges, they were all part of a journey that stretched the limits of human exploration and resilience. As he drifted off to sleep, Alex knew that each day would bring new challenges, but also new opportunities to unravel the mysteries of the red planet. In the quiet of the Martian morning, with the red dust gently stirred by a light breeze, Alex sat inside his habitat module, reviewing the mission briefing that had been meticulously planned on Earth. The primary objective of his solitary sojourn on Mars was clear and scientifically crucial: to collect geological samples from the unexplored regions of this alien terrain. These samples held the potential to unlock secrets from Mars's past, possibly revealing signs of ancient water or even life. It was a mission that could redefine humanity's understanding of its place in the cosmos. For Alex, however, this mission was more than a scientific endeavor. It was a personal pilgrimage. His fascination with Mars had begun as a child, gazing at the red dot in the night sky, imagining the possibilities it held. As he grew, so did his passion for space and the mysteries it held. Mars, in all its enigmatic glory, had always been at the center of his dreams. Now, sitting on the very soil he had longed to explore, Alex felt the weight of his personal aspirations merging with the scientific goals of the mission. Alex's motivation was twofold. Firstly, it was about the pursuit of knowledge, about answering the age-old question of whether we are alone in the universe. The possibility of uncovering evidence of past life on Mars was not just scientifically groundbreaking. It had profound implications for humanity's understanding of life itself. Secondly, on a more personal level, this mission was Alex's way of contributing to a legacy that would last beyond his years. He wanted to be a part of something that pushed human boundaries, that challenged our understanding of what was possible. As he prepared his equipment for the first expedition, Alex felt a deep sense of responsibility. He wasn't just collecting rocks. He was seeking answers to questions that had puzzled scientists for generations. Each sample had the potential to be a piece of a larger puzzle, a clue in the quest to unravel the history of Mars. This was an opportunity to provide invaluable data that could shape future missions, and perhaps even pave the way for human colonization of the planet. The mission, with its risks and uncertainties, was a testament to human curiosity and the unrelenting quest for knowledge. For Alex, it was a chance to leave an indelible mark on the field of space exploration and astrobiology. As he stepped out of the habitat, the Martian landscape before him was not just a scientific frontier. It was a canvas of personal dreams and professional aspirations. In the silence of Mars, with only his thoughts for company, Alex realized that this mission was a defining moment in his life. It was a convergence of his childhood dreams and professional goals, a chance to fulfill a lifelong ambition and contribute significantly to our understanding of the Red Planet. With a sense of resolve, he set out to begin his work, each step a stride in a journey of scientific and personal discovery. As dawn broke over the Martian horizon, casting a soft glow on the red landscape, Alex began preparing for his first expedition. He methodically suited up in his space gear, a process he had practiced countless times, but which now held a new significance. Each layer of his suit was a barrier between him and the hostile Martian environment. He checked his life support systems, communication equipment, and the tools he would need for collecting samples. The act of preparation was both familiar and surreal, a routine from Earth now being performed millions of kilometers away on a foreign planet. With every piece of gear he put on, Alex felt the weight of his solitude pressing down on him. Outside the safety of his habitat module, he was an intruder in an ancient and alien world. As he sealed his helmet and the hiss of oxygen filled his ears, the reality of his isolation became palpable. He was about to walk into an environment that was inherently inhospitable to human life, a world that had existed long before humans even dreamt of the stars. Stepping out from the habitat, Alex was immediately struck by the stark beauty of Mars. The landscape was a panorama of contrasts, towering cliffs, vast plains, and deep valleys, all painted in shades of red, orange, and brown. The sky, a thin veil of atmosphere, hovered above in a perpetual twilight, casting a diffuse light over the terrain. It was a scene of desolate beauty, untouched and unaltered by human hands. As he began his trek, the alien nature of the planet was ever present. The ground underfoot was a mix of fine dust and jagged rocks, a reminder of the planet's volcanic past. The horizon seemed to stretch forever, a reminder of the vastness of the world he was exploring. The silence was overwhelming, broken only by the sound of his own breathing and the crunch of his boots on the Martian soil. The dangers of the Martian landscape were as real as its beauty. Sudden dust storms could reduce visibility to zero. Equipment failure was a constant threat, and the thin atmosphere offered little protection from the sun's radiation. Every step was a calculation, a balance between scientific curiosity and the need to stay safe. Alex was acutely aware that even a small mistake could have dire consequences in this unforgiving environment. As he ventured further from his base, collecting samples and recording observations, Alex was awestruck by the uniqueness of each rock, each crevice, each mound of soil. They were pieces of a puzzle that could unlock the secrets of Mars's past. The stark beauty of the planet, with its harsh landscape and alien terrain, was not just a backdrop for his mission. It was an active participant, challenging and testing him at every turn. The first expedition, though physically taxing, was a journey of discovery. With each sample he collected, Alex felt a growing connection to the planet. Mars, with all its beauty and danger, was no longer just a destination. It had become a part of his journey, a chapter in his story of exploration and discovery. After returning from his first expedition on Mars, Alex initiated a critical component of his routine, establishing communication with the nearest colony. As he activated the communication panel inside his habitat, the reality of his situation became even more pronounced. The nearest human outpost was hundreds of kilometers away, a speck of civilization on the vast, red canvas of Mars. As he sent his status report and awaited a response, the delay in communication was a stark reminder of the distances involved. On Mars, even the speed of light seemed insufficient to bridge the gap of isolation. Each message he sent took minutes to reach its destination, and the replies took just as long to return. This lag in communication, though expected, underscored the solitude of his mission. He was on a world where time itself seemed to operate differently, where every word transmitted through the void carried the weight of distance and delay. Despite the isolation, these communications were a lifeline for Alex. Through them, he interacted with other characters who were part of the broader human presence on Mars. There was Dr. Eva Ramirez, a geologist stationed at the main colony, who shared his enthusiasm for Martian rocks and offered insights into his findings. Then there was Commander Raj Patel, overseeing operations from an orbital station, whose calm and steady voice provided guidance and support. Each interaction, albeit brief and delayed, brought a sense of connection to Alex, a reminder that he was part of a larger community of explorers and scientists. These characters, though physically distant, became a part of Alex's world. Their voices, emanating from the communication panel, broke the silence of his habitat and filled it with the essence of human presence. Discussions about scientific discoveries, updates on colony life, and even casual exchanges about Earth and its distant blue beauty provided a semblance of normalcy in the otherwise alien environment. In his conversations with Dr. Ramirez, Alex found a kindred spirit. They shared observations and hypotheses about the Martian surface, discussing the potential implications of his findings. Her expertise in Martian geology helped Alex interpret the data he was collecting, adding layers of understanding to his mission. Commander Patel, on the other hand, was a constant source of encouragement and advice. His experience in space missions was invaluable, guiding Alex through the logistical and operational challenges of life on Mars. The commander's updates on the progress of other missions and happenings around the Martian colonies gave Alex a broader perspective on the human endeavor on the Red Planet. These communications, though a reminder of his isolation, were also a testament to human connection and collaboration. They bridged the vast expanse of space, bringing together minds and hearts in a shared mission of exploration and discovery. For Alex, each check-in was more than just a routine report. It was a reaffirmation of his role in a collective journey that spanned planets and united people in a common goal. During his subsequent expeditions across the Martian landscape, Alex began to encounter anomalies that were not just intriguing, but also mystifying. These features in the terrain were absent from the maps and data he had, hinting at the largely unexplored and unknown nature of his surroundings. The peculiar formations ranged from unusual rock structures that defied typical geological patterns to inexplicable depressions in the soil that seemed to appear overnight. One particular instance stood out as Alex navigated a region marked by ancient lava flows. He stumbled upon a series of perfectly aligned ridges that seemed almost artificially created. They were unlike any geological formation he had studied or been briefed about. This discovery piqued his curiosity and prompted a flurry of questions. Were these formations the result of some unknown, natural process? Or did they hint at something more? This part of Mars was supposed to be dormant, with no recent volcanic activity, making the presence of such structures even more perplexing. As he documented these anomalies, Alex couldn't shake off a feeling of being on the cusp of a significant discovery. Each day brought new mysteries. Each investigation uncovered more questions than answers. It was both exhilarating and daunting, a constant reminder of how much of Mars remained to be understood. Amidst these scientific curiosities, Alex began to experience subtle but unexplained phenomena that added a layer of intrigue to his mission. It started with a faint interference in his communication equipment. Initially, he dismissed it as a glitch or a byproduct of the planet's notorious dust storms. However, the interference became more frequent, manifesting as an odd static that interrupted his transmissions. Then came the echoes. During one of his routine communications with the colony, Alex heard what he initially thought was an echo of his own voice, but it was slightly distorted, a whisper that didn't entirely match his words. Puzzled, he ran diagnostics on his equipment, but everything checked out. These auditory anomalies were fleeting, but they were enough to plant a seed of intrigue in Alex's mind. Was this interference natural, or was it indicative of something else, something hitherto undiscovered on Mars? These experiences, the unexplained features in the landscape, and the odd interferences in his communication gear, all contributed to a growing sense of mystery. They were subtle hints that Alex might not be just a solitary explorer on a dead planet, but perhaps a witness to secrets that Mars had closely guarded for eons. As he lay in his bunk each night, the day's discoveries replaying in his mind, Alex couldn't help but feel a mix of anticipation and apprehension. He was on the edge of the unknown, and Mars, it seemed, had more to reveal than he had ever imagined. As the Martian day gave way to night, the landscape transformed into a scene of eerie calm and haunting beauty. The harsh red of the day mellowed into deeper shades, casting long shadows across the undulating terrain. The sky, a canvas of deep blues and blacks, was adorned with a tapestry of stars, more vivid and numerous than any night sky on Earth. Among these celestial bodies, Earth shone like a faint but persistent light, a distant reminder of home. Alex stood outside his habitat module, his gaze fixed on the small blue dot that was Earth. The sight was humbling, emphasizing the vastness of space and his distance from everything familiar. Mars at night was a world of paradoxes, breathtakingly beautiful yet starkly isolating. The silence was profound, broken only by the occasional whisper of wind that stirred the dust around his feet. In these moments of solitude, Alex found himself reflecting on his day, the mission, and his place in this grand cosmic scheme. The anomalies he had encountered, the unexplained interferences in his communications, all contributed to a sense of intrigue and uncertainty. He pondered the geological samples he had collected, each potentially holding answers to the ancient mysteries of Mars. The planet, with its untold secrets, seemed to beckon him deeper into its embrace. Alex's thoughts then turned inward, to his own journey. He considered the path that had led him here, to this distant, alien world. The mission was more than a scientific endeavor. It was a test of human spirit and endurance. He wondered about the impact of his discoveries, how they would contribute to humanity's understanding of Mars, and perhaps even the universe. The solitude of the mission had given him a unique perspective on life, on the interconnectedness of all things. He felt a profound sense of responsibility, not just as a scientist, but as a representative of humanity on an uncharted world. The night on Mars was also a time for Alex to confront his isolation. The physical distance from Earth was palpable, but there was also an emotional distance, a realization that he was experiencing something that few could truly understand. This isolation was both a burden and a privilege, offering moments of introspection and personal growth. As Alex returned to his habitat for the night, the Earth still visible in the sky, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges and mysteries of Mars were not just obstacles, they were opportunities to push the boundaries of human knowledge and capability. The night had deepened his resolve to unravel the secrets of the Red Planet, to contribute to a legacy that extended beyond himself. Lying in his bunk, Alex let the events of the day replay in his mind, setting the stage for the psychological journey ahead. Mars, with its eerie nights and enigmatic landscape, was not just a place of scientific exploration, but a journey into the depths of the human psyche, a testament to the enduring spirit of exploration and discovery. As the Martian night deepened, Alex settled into his bunk within the habitat module, the events of the day replaying in his mind. Despite the fatigue that clung to his bones, an unsettling feeling crept over him, a sense of foreboding that he couldn't quite shake off. It was an intuition, honed by years of experience in hostile environments, whispering that this mission was different, that Mars held secrets far beyond what he had anticipated. The anomalies he had encountered, the unexplained static in his communications, and the strange formations in the Martian landscape, all these elements swirled in his thoughts, intertwining to form a tapestry of mystery. There was a feeling, almost palpable in the stillness of the night, that Mars was not just a silent observer, but an active participant in his journey. It was as if the planet itself was watching, holding its breath, waiting to reveal truths that could change everything he knew about this world. As Alex lay in the dim light of his habitat, the weight of isolation enveloped him. He was a solitary figure on an alien planet, millions of kilometers from home, delving into the unknown. Yet, beneath the veneer of solitude, there was a resolve, a determination that had always defined him. He knew that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges, both physical and psychological, but he was prepared to face them head-on. This mission was more than a scientific endeavor. It was a journey into the very heart of the unknown. Just as sleep began to claim him, a faint whisper broke the silence of the habitat. It was a sound so soft, so ethereal, that for a moment, Alex thought he had imagined it. But there it was again, a whisper without words, a voice without form, emanating from the walls of the habitat, or perhaps from the depths of his own mind. It was a sound that defied explanation, planting the seed for the central mystery that would come to dominate his mission. Alex was lying in his bunk, a solitary figure cocooned in a habitat on the surface of Mars. Around him was a landscape both beautiful and menacing, a world that offered awe-inspiring views and unfathomable mysteries. The sense of foreboding that lingered in the air was a prelude to the psychological and physical journey that lay ahead. As the night enveloped the Red Planet, Alex was left to ponder the mysteries of Mars, the whispers in the night, and the path that lay before him. In this alien world, he was isolated but not broken, alone but undeterred, ready to face whatever secrets Mars chose to reveal.